What's up, everybody? I'm here with Emperor Nero, who just dropped his new album, The Christian That Burned Down the City, Not Me. Why don't you introduce yourself here, man?
Yeah, well, like you said, I'm Nero. I was the Emperor of Rome for, well, the best part of my life, really. And I have recently come back to life. I've been dead for about 2,000-ish years. So it's weird kind of adjusting to the cultures that are here. You know, you've got all this new crazy technology. It was much simpler when I was around, but we can skip all over that stuff. Let's get to the juicy stuff, Kyle. Let's get to the juicy, the nitty-gritty meat, if you will. Ask me the tough questions.
You see, here today, in the United States, where we are, there's not really persecution for religion, but under your regime, there was quite a bit of religious persecutions. You would literally burn people.
Yeah, I did.
How would you compare life for, let's say, Christians living in the United States today compared to Christians living in Rome under your rule?
Yeah, that's a good question, John. What I've noticed is that so your leaders today, if they were to blame the Christians for something, if something tragic were to happen to your nation, and then someone would be like, oh, it was the Christians' fault, that person would get crucified. Back when I was a leader, I could blame any person I wanted, and they would get crucified. I think your society is a little bit backwards.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, it really is.
Nero, why don't you explain to us how you came to power?
Okay, yeah, good question. You see, when actually, I get a little bit nervous when I'm talking about myself.
Understandable.
Is it alright if I read off of this Google document?
Oh, absolutely.
About myself?
Yeah, go for it.
Excellent, okay. So, actually, what happened is, in order to get me to be emperor, my mom married my uncle.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty weird. I didn't care about that though. I had her murdered later, so that's how I felt about her. Anyway, when I became emperor, I was about 17 years old. How old are you, Mark?
I'm 43.
Yeah, just about your age when I became emperor, and I became emperor in 53, and I was the emperor of Rome for about 6 years before I just went freaking crazy, you know? And because I was getting like advice that, hey, you should rule this way, you should rule that way, and I was like, okay, yeah, and I tried to be just and kind, but I just really wasn't me, you know?
Nero, tell me about your father.
Oh, yeah. Well, he died when I was 3, so...
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I really hated him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nero, what the people want to know is about your roots. What kind of streets you came from, the hood you grew up in. Why don't you tell us about that? Your aspirations from there.
Right. Well, yeah, that's actually a great question, Mike. You see, here the thing is, I actually never really wanted to be emperor growing up. I wanted to be a performer. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a musician. You know, I wanted to be an athlete. I was the coolest of the cool. As far as musicians goes, I was like the Nickelback during the middle of the career. As far as athletes goes, I was like Michael Jordan during his baseball career. As far as just like being an artist, like Lil Pump during all of his career. Like I was at the top of my game, couldn't get better, and suddenly I have this, this responsibility to be emperor, and it just really sucked, man. You know, they were just really bringing me down.
So, what did you do?
Well, I killed a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned that the value of human life was pretty low. Growing up, a lot of my parents, both of them just ended up dying, mostly by my hands. My dad died when I was young, and my mom had some people killed. I had her killed. I had some other people killed. Had my lover killed. Had my tutor killed. You'll hear all about the people I have killed in the song that I dropped. It's going to be really great. I'm really excited for you to. I'm really excited for you to hear that, Austin.
We're going to cut to what is perhaps the greatest accomplishment of your career, even maybe greater than your ruling of Rome, your new single, The Christians Burned Down the City, Not Me.
Yeah, I named it that in reference to the Christians burning down Rome, not me. My buddy Tactitious and I we got together and we were trying to think about how to really captivate who I am, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What it is, you already know who it is. It's Nero. It's your boy Tactitious. Blah! Blah!
Emperor of Rome, I'm the one and only. Used to sing in the streets, all cold and lonely. Had to sneak out and wear a disguise, but with my body like this, I got nothing to hide. Call my pops Red Beard, but he wasn't a pirate. Name of Nero got smeared, they said I was a tyrant. But when things went wrong, used my ace in the hole, I just pointed the blame at old Peter and Paul.
Let's take it back to 37 AD. That was the birthday of good old me. Back from day one, he had a call to fame. You were born to be great, mommy would exclaim. She married his uncle so he could rule Rome, but his fame would come from a different home. He would sing, he would dance, he'd spit mad fire, and he'd blame the Christians when they said he was a liar.
First few years on the throne I did well. Wasn't till 59 that I gave him hell. Mommy told me not to kill my wife. Shut up, Mom, you're not the boss of my life. I did it their way for a couple of years. I was good and just, didn't shed any tears. I killed my wife, my brother, my mother. I killed my lover, and my tutor was another.
Someone back there, he lost his marbles. Nero's appetite got pretty carnal. Saw a poor boy, put him under the knife. Said, hey everybody, check out my new wife. The Christians called him the Antichrist, so on torches at his parties had them sacrificed. At 31, all his allies had fled, as he cried out, what an artist dies in me.